Malls across America have been on wobbly legs for a few years now, as many shoppers are now gravitating more and more towards online shopping instead of the retail in-store experience. And unfortunately, due to this kind of new shopping habits that we're seeing in today's marketplace, well, it's starting to affect me personally, because I'm sad to report, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, my local mall arcade is finally shutting its doors once and for all. And as sad as this is, and as much as I hate to see this place go, there is a little bit of silver lining to the story, and we're going to talk about it coming up. So a friend of mine that actually works at the mall let it slip that yes indeed, my local mall arcade is closing its doors finally once and for all and going out of business. However, he did let me know that there's an online company that is doing an online exclusive auction, and they have been relegated to sell every single item that is in the arcade. Nothing is being held back, everything from the display counters, the ticket booth, the ticket machines, coin counters, the arcades themselves, everything is for sale. So we're going to kind of peruse this auction website real quick and kind of see if there's any deals to be had. Granted, the auction ends in about 2 days time, so these prices could change significantly, but this should give me, a rough estimation of whether or not I could purchase some of my local area arcade machines for very little cost, hopefully. So fingers crossed on that one, because I'd love to own a piece of my childhood. This arcade was in the early 90s, it was an Aladdin's Castle, and that went out of business, and then a Tilt Arcade came and repurposed it and rebranded it, so to speak, and it's been a Tilt Arcade for many decades now. I vividly remember going to this place ever since junior high, high school. I'd always put like $5 in quarters and go play a couple of games for quite a while, and then I'd go walk around and window shop at the mall for things I couldn't afford. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got listed. Like I said, everything for the most part is up on this website, and we should be able to find some hopefully decent deals or be able to purchase something in general, because I would love to own something I played from high school and or junior high. That to me would just be a very cool nostalgic trip to own an actual arcade that I grew up playing on. So first things first, you'll see that they've got some redemption machines. Not really interested in anything like that. Prices are varying. They got it says Tron Solar Spinner. But this is just some weird, goofy, timing ticket punch type of thing. Not interested in that. I'm not looking for any kind of ticket machine. It's going for $15, 2 bids. Like I said, these prices could change significantly in the near future, but I've been watching it for a few days now, and actually went and visited the arcade yesterday just to kind of get a sense of how well the condition on some of these arcades were, whether they're operational, whether they needed a lot of work, that type of thing. But we got some more redemption prize machines, big kid claw machine that kind of spits out basketball-sized rubber balls. Got a deal or no deal game machine. Like I said, this arcade has been dying for several years now, and they haven't really updated it or put anything new in it for a long, long time. So many of these arcades are many years old, but for the most part they're all operational, the ones that I'm interested in. Again, some more redemption machines, Large Red Crane, King of the Big Wheel, Ticket Machine. I don't even think that was working. I got some basketball scoring, Hoop Fevers. Looks like somebody's definitely interested in at least one of those. It's going for $320, which again is a steal, but the downside is like you gotta get this stuff out of the mall somehow. So I'm really only interested in arcade type of stuff. Again, we got some street basketball going for $120. More basketball games. Black ticket counter, $10. I mean, if that goes for less than $30 or something like that, I may just buy it, because it's a ticket machine for $30. I mean, it's hard to pass up. Change machine. I would love to have a change machine. It's about the size of an arcade 1-up almost as far as scale. $70. I have no use for a change machine other than just nostalgic love, but that's, I don't know, if it goes more than $70, I'm probably out. Like $70 is the max on something I would spend on something I absolutely don't need. I'm going to CES to do some reporting and some video coverage there, so I should be saving my money for that trip. But some of this auction is just too good to be true. But here are the things that I'm most interested in. So they've got a Tekken 5 machine. Currently it's only $120. Pictures look good. I went and, like I said, scoped it out for myself, played around yesterday. It works great. One of the things I like the most about this is its small form factor and its unique cabinet shape and everything like that. It's not going to take up a whole lot of room. So if I wanted to move it into my house upstairs here in my media room / studio, I could, and it really wouldn't be too ridiculous. Or I could just, put it in the garage and have a garage arcade. But works great, looks great. The CRT monitor still pretty good, pretty vibrant. Still got some life in it. $120. If that doesn't go too crazy, I'll be interested in that. The thing I'm probably most excited about is this Jurassic Park: The Lost World from Sega sit-in 2-person light gun game. It's already going for $320. I'm unfortunately pretty sure that this thing will go up very quickly as the auction gets closer, but this is definitely something I will be bidding on. It is a massive thing, so I got to figure out what I would do with it if I won. It does have some damage. As you can see, the Lost World sign up there is cracked, but I mean, it functions. I played it. It works well. It's got some wear and tear. It's an old game, but this is a great game. I absolutely love playing it. I've got it on my Sega emulators that I play on my computer all the time. I'm a massive Jurassic Park nerd in general. I collect all the toys, figures, and all that stuff, so I would just absolutely love to have two of my favorite things, a Sega arcade cabinet, something Jurassic World, and something from, my childhood, 1997. I've sat and played this cabinet numerous times growing up over the years and into adulthood, and I would love to own it. So $320, we'll see how it goes. They have the SVC or SNK, Capcom game. This is the sit-down pedestal two-person game. Really unique projector screen, I think it is. I don't think it's a CRT. I'm pretty sure it's a projector. Didn't look at it a whole lot. It's not my favorite game. It's a massive unit. As much as I enjoy fighting games, that one's a hard sell. $45 though. Like, again, if these prices don't fluctuate, I may be that idiot that all of a sudden buys 4 arcades just because they're too cheap to pass up, and then I'm sitting there with a storage unit full of arcades trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Another one I'm super interested in is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This is another pedestal arcade. The monitor is super dim. I don't know if that's something I can tweak with, or if it's just settings or what, but it didn't look very bright at all. This CRT has definitely seen some better days. I didn't see any burn in. The controls still feel smooth. The joysticks are good. The buttons were good. But the monitor itself wasn't as bright as I was expecting and or hoping it to be. But then again, this is an old game. It's been there for many years, so over a decade, that I know for a fact that this has been sitting in this arcade specifically. But it's only going currently for $60. So pedestal, giant, heavy, but $60, hard to pass up. Soul Calibur, going for $70. This thing was not turned on or operational when I went in and inspected it yesterday, so I don't know if it works at all, if it just needs to be plugged in. But $70, same kind of setup as the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'll probably pass on this one. It had an LED LCD monitor thrown in there, and it just looked really weird. And not that I hate LED or LCD monitors, but it was super tiny for the arcade cabinet. Silent Scope, $70. This would be a super fun game. Again, it's nice. It's kind of bulky, but it's Silent Scope. It's a cool shooter, Konami game, and I wouldn't mind owning it. Like I said, less than $100. I'll have to rent, a truck to pick this stuff up, but totally worth it. Another shooter from Sega, Let's Go Jungle. It's only going for $15. This is a massive little thing though. Kiosk shooter with an LED LCD screen that looks super tiny compared to everything else on this cabinet. So it's got the back of a Jeep, and then it's got the shooting 2 guns on it, but a very tiny monitor. But again, it's dirt cheap. So if this doesn't get crazy, I may just have to buy this. Like $15. How do you pass that up? Another change machine, $35. This is something makes me say, oh my gosh, I need this, even though I don't need this because it's so cheap. Thing I was super interested in, and I want to get this, but like this has already increased a couple times since I came back from looking at it just the other day. This is House of the Dead 3 from Sega. Giant 2-person pedestal looking cabinet with a big projector screen. Plays great, looks great, very good condition. It's going for $440, which is not a bad price by any means. It's actually a great price. But like I said, I should be saving up for CES. So if I bought this, I'd be broke and eating ramen noodles and sleeping on some park bench out at CES, because I'm not a guy with a 6-figure day job. I'm just a working stiff like most people. And if I bought this for $440 and then immediately spent a bunch of money on a CES trip, I'd be getting an earful from the wife for sure. But House of the Dead 3, awesome arcade game. Then they had some amazing little massive crane machines for stuffed animals and different prizes. They had the Silver Strike Bowling by Incredible Technology, so essentially it's like Golden Tee only for bowling. It's going for $160 right now. Again, some more prize redemption things. Massive 4-player air hockey table, $160. Wheel of Fortune, $20. Like I said, a lot of these super ginormous arcades are going for next to nothing right now, just because I'm sure everyone's thinking to themselves, how would I transport this? How would I get it out of there? Where would I put it? So that's probably the logical thing that everyone's asking themselves, and why some of these are so cheap. But there's also a lot of racing games. I would love to own one of these, but some of them were like 2-player connected ones, and I just know there's literally no place I would have to put it except for my garage, and I don't know if I can swing that with the wife. But Super GT by Sega, 2-person, it's only going for $25. I mean, it's a 2-person racing cabinet by Sega, $25. Good God, that's cheap. That's stupid cheap. And it works. It's operational. I sat there and played it yesterday. Fun game. Steering wheel, pedals. I mean, it's got scratches, dings, and dents and everything like that, but that's something you would expect. Sega Saturn game, super fun. I don't know where I would put it. Oh my God, this is just like that want versus need. What do you do? Should I buy this? Could I buy this? What do I do? Do I call every friend that owes me a favor and offer him, a 12-pack of beer to help me move this stuff around? Because good God, it's going to be large, bulky stuff. Cruisin' USA, Cruisin' Drive-By. One was working, one wasn't working. One of them had a CRT monitor, one of them didn't, if I remember correctly. Going for $80 on one, $25 on the other. They definitely had some dents and scratches and everything, but for the most part they were operational, or at least seemed to be operational. I only played one of them. And there was another Hyperdrive by Midway. I didn't test this one out. It's only going for $25. And they had some awesome skee ball. I would kill to own a skee ball machine, but I don't have a basement house. If I had a basement house, I would somehow, some way find out how to bring one of these awesome skee ball machines home for $100 or so. But I mean, these things are like 12 foot long. I think one of them's almost like 16 foot long, one of these bigger ones. Yeah. Let's see if it says in the measurements. No, it doesn't really have any information, but yeah, these things are ginormous. But I love me some skee ball. That is an addicting thing. Another 4-player Dynamo air hockey table. Huge thing. I don't know how anybody would get this in or out of a house unless you had some just massive double doors and then, 5 people hauling this around for you. More prize redemption things. A couple more racers we have here. We have R-Toon Street Racing by Sega. These things both look great. Absolute amazing condition. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying great and immaculate simultaneously and just spitting out words that don't exist. But another awesome looking Sega racing cabinet. Another bulky thing that I would probably die trying to get into my house, but it'd be totally worth it for $120. Token changer, $20. Again, hard to pass up something like that for $20. And what else we got? A couple more redemption things. Paradise Lost Global VR Shooter, $80. Pretty deep as far as width and everything. I'm not familiar with this game. I don't really have an attachment to it, so I'm probably going to pass on this. Another claw machine. The show display cases where they put all the prizes and everything. This is like all 5 of them, and this is, I don't know, probably 16 foot wide, and they're probably 3 foot deep or 2.5 foot deep each one. I mean, this would be a hell of a deal for anybody that had a retail thing, but nobody's bidding on this. There's only one person bidding on this, $10. This is something I am very interested in, and I already talked to my wife about it, but like still, this would just sit in my garage and I would play it, but oh man, $25. First of all, I didn't know Sega made claw machines. Second of all, when I was playing this yesterday, I noticed it has a HAP 8-way joystick. That is incredible. This is a claw machine. You don't need a HAP 8-way joystick on a claw machine, but here we are having one, and it feels great. I was so blown away with the fact that it has this 8-way HAP joystick on this claw machine, but it's UFO catcher made by Sega. Again, I'm a Sega fanboy, Sega nerd, and I absolutely kill to have this. I don't think it comes with any of the plushies of the stuffed animals, but I actually have a massive plushie stuffed animal collection myself, so I would just throw it in there and play with this just for grins. But $25, it is very tall, very wide, but it does have wheels, so that is an amazing plus. It does have wheels and it is mobile, so essentially all I have to do is get it on a ramp so I can get it in a truck and we'll be good to go. So I could rent a U-Haul and move that very easily. So this is definitely something I will be interested in bidding on. They had a black one and a white one. I'm more interested in the black one because it actually had the HAP joysticks. The white one, I don't think it did. Where is it? Oh, it did. I couldn't remember. Yeah, it was probably the one right next to it that didn't. But both of them going for dirt cheap. They had some smaller claw machines that I should probably be more interested in realistically because they're smaller and they take up less space, but as you can tell, that's probably what everybody else is thinking. This one's already up to $80, which again is ridiculously cheap. A couple more prize redemption games. Nothing else that I'm interested in. And here's the funny thing. So this is something I vividly remembered riding when I was probably 13, going to the mall with a friend of mine. This is a massive flight simulator thing that's on hydraulics, and it's essentially the size of a large like Chevy Suburban. This thing is a massive unit. It's only going for $200. I would love to meet the people that actually end up buying this because I don't know how they're going to get it out of here. In fact, if you look at here, it says, please note, the buyer must have an insurance coverage between the buyer and the landlord for removal of this lot. The buyer is also responsible for any damage of the lot item, the arcade, and or the mall during the removal process. So, I mean, this thing is just ginormous. But essentially what it does, it's got a screen inside and it's like something you would ride at Disney or something. You get an image around, it bubbles you around, and you're supposed to feel like you're being flown around and tossed. And I can't remember what the actual theme was. I think back in the 90s when I rode it, it was like some skiing adventure or something like that, and then it turned into a hang gliding adventure. But it's run off a computer, and it is, again, like I said, it's just huge. It's got this whole podium and staircase. I think it fits 4 people if I remember correctly. Yeah, Thompson Training Simulator Entertainment Systems. This ain't no joke. This is a legit, thing. So anybody that's buying this, good for you. But yeah, $200. I'm gonna be blown away if this thing goes. I mean, this thing's like a car. I mean, look at that. This is like heavy machinery. We got pistons. We got everything going on in here. And someone's gonna own this thing for, yeah, there we go, four-seater leather seats. Someone's gonna own this thing for probably less than $1,000. Granted, they're probably gonna spend more than $1,000 to get it in and out of the mall, but definitely some deals to be had. Amazing deals, and I've got to sit here and think for the next 48 hours what I'm going to do with this stuff, where I'm going to put it, and what I really need / want to buy. Because, like I said, I should be saving for the CES trip, but when opportunities like this present themselves, you can't ignore them. And that does it for today's video. Guys, let me know in the comments down below what arcades I should go after. What arcades would you go after if you were in my shoes? If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Make sure you hit that notification bell if you do, so you'll be the first to know every time I upload great content like this. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. It really means a lot.